Okay, it says I'm live. Hopefully I'm live. If someone can say something and let me know that you can hear me, that would be great. My hair's all sticking up, which is wonderful for live videos. Let me just check real quick. Awesome. Okay, cool. So my name is Leanne, and I'm about to read to you from a yet unfinished novel. Actually started it a while ago, haven't finished it, but it just made so much sense now with what's going on in the world that I wanted to read it. Now, at the start of the story that I'm going to read you, you're introduced to two characters. Okay, so you're not going to get this intro, which is why I'm telling you now. They're Evelyn Lawson and her mother, Dorothy Lawson. And at this point in the story, all we know is that there's something going on in the world. There are, all these random natural disasters happening overnight. And it's just really odd, like lightning striking out of nowhere. There's tornadoes or, bugs, like locusts. It's almost like Passover. So Evelyn and her mother, Dorothy, have packed up their possessions and they left the apartment that they've been sharing for the last 3 years. And they've just taken a 2-day drive to stay with Miriam, who is Evelyn's grandmother up north. So this chapter starts with the first meal at Miriam's house. And later on in chapters after this reading, Evelyn and her new love interest are going to discover the problem and save the world. And it might have something to do with cats, but I'm not saying right now. So here we go. Dinner was nice. Miriam had a vegetable garden out back, as well as a dozen hens she kept in a coop. The eggs, fresh salad, and broiled zucchini hit the spot. They sat down on the front porch steps, shoulder to shoulder, gazing off into the sunset with mugs of steaming herbal mint tea. "So," said Miriam, "tell me what's going down in your neck of the woods. Evelyn, are you still seeing that nice boy? What was his name? James?" "James? Oh, Lord, no," said Evelyn. "Grandma, he had a crush on me back in high school, but I never liked him." "Well, then, it's been 20 years since high school. I know you've at least dated, haven't you?" "Grandma." "Oh, Evelyn, are you embarrassed about your love life?" "Grandma, there is no love life. Don't you remember I've been living with my mama for the last 3 years?" Miriam chuckled into her tea. "So what about you, Dorothy?" Dorothy's eyes widened as her chin pulled back. "Me? Don't you know I've been living with my grown daughter for the last 3 years?" "Oh, you too," grumbled Miriam in mock annoyance. "Well, I have been seeing a very nice gentleman by the name of Rupert. He'll be back later tonight to check on me, so I thought it best to tell you." The front door creaked open, and Evelyn jerked awake. "Mama!" she whispered urgently. "Mama, there's something in the house." You could never be too careful these days. Dorothy mumbled something and turned over, her breathing deep and restful. "Shit, guess I should get up and take a look," Evelyn mumbled. She swung her feet off the bed, still sleepy, though her body was shaking with adrenaline. She cracked the guest bedroom door open and peeked out. There, in the hallway, stood her grandmother, her arms around a tall, muscular man that must have been at least 20 years her junior. She exhaled shakily, swung the door open the entire way, and stared openly. "Well, my goodness, Grandma!" Miriam slowly released the man and turned back to look at Evelyn. "Oh, Evelyn, you're up. Meet Rupert." Evelyn gave her grandmother a look, raising her eyebrows, and then did the polite thing and shook Rupert's hand. "Evelyn, I've heard so much about you," Rupert exclaimed in a low, booming voice. The next morning, they discussed the night's events over an omelet and some fresh, delicious bacon Rupert had acquired from a nearby farmer. Several towns east, past the big mountains, a fire had engulfed 2 homes that had been hit by lightning. Out west, the river had flooded and residents were finding fish in their backyards. "I sure wouldn't complain if I had some fish to fry up," muttered Miriam. "I'll get you some tomorrow, Miriam," responded Rupert. I can't help but think, said Dorothy, that there's a reason we're in this predicament. Do you know what I mean? Look at this. We're eating the freshest food we've had for years. We're spending time with our family. She looked over at Rupert and friends. And I'm certainly getting more exercise than I was before, sweeping bugs off the car, gardening. I just feel like there's something good about this craziness. Chewing ensued around the table as the others took some time to let Dorothy's words sink in. Evelyn nodded to herself, as did Rupert. Miriam stood up to get everyone refills on coffee. What I wouldn't do for a chocolate chip cookie to go with this coffee, she said. After pouring the hot liquid, she continued, anyway, speaking of gardening, I best go take care of mine. And that was that. Evelyn and Dorothy began cleaning up shortly after. After Rupert stepped out for his day-long errands, Dorothy sat down at the kitchen table and watched Evelyn rinse off the last coffee mug. So, she started, about your love life. Oh, Mama, whined Evelyn. My love life? Really? I'm just saying. Dorothy held up two hands, palms forward. There was a cute young man walking around out back earlier. Maybe if you... Mama, no! I came out to you before you moved in with me. You know I only date women, Evelyn said, her words clipped and volume rising. In your dreams, maybe, said Dorothy, but I've never seen you with a woman. Mama, I don't need to be dating a woman to prove I'm gay. I just need to know I like them. Well, how do you know you like them, as you say, if you've never been with one? I've been with plenty. Oh, never mind, Mama. What's this about all of a sudden? Evelyn's face turned a bright red. Well, maybe last night after you went to sleep, your grandma might have told me about a nice woman she met that's been keeping an eye on things around here. All the red drained from Evelyn's face as her eyes widened. No, Mama, you didn't. Oh my God, you told Grandma. She shook her head, dropping it in her palms. Oh, relax. She's known since an hour after you told me 3 years ago, and she took it just fine. And even if she hadn't, there's not much she can say now that we've seen her very young boyfriend. Plus, on a positive note, there may be a date in it for you, Dorothy added with a smile. A date? Oh, come on, Mama. I know how Grandma is. What's she trying to get at? Does this woman have chocolate chip cookies growing in her backyard or something? I didn't ask, but you can. She's coming over for an early supper tomorrow. All right, so that's the section. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to the next few readings tonight.